Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Favor81 stream. We are still in technical tests phase of sort, so I can't really assure that everything will work out fine. And thanks God we have a very dear guest here to us. We try to co-op. We did some streams together in the past, and tonight is helping me to check out that everything is running smoothly here for Europa Universalis Rome via Victis. You can find this game on Steam. It's quite often on sale, and it's worth every dollar of it. You can buy the gold edition. It includes the base game plus to this Victis expansion that it's kind of required because it adds several mechanics that you really don't want to miss out. So I'm starting a new game here. Some days ago I wanted to try to start a tutorial series for this game, but I don't know, I realized it was getting a little too confusing, that I was not at all good enough at the game to have an overview. So I thought for now I'll just record a let's play and just talk about what I'm doing, try to explain and even learn during the process, because I really love Paradox Grand Strategy titles, but this one I really didn't play it enough at all, and I'm not really sure we'll manage to see the end date here, because there are too many things I haven't seen and not sure how I could manage them. Yeah, of course it includes real gold, but they have it in the Steam stashes. It's underground, and it's not. Yeah, when you buy a game that says gold in the title, you are entitled to some real gold, but well, you have to go to Steam secret stash and get it, and not gonna be easy. So we need to be more serious, because this is an historical game, and then you are supposed to have a serious face while playing it, right? We are choosing the first historical start, January 1st, 474, Ab Urbe Condita. Yeah, back in the day they didn't use the before Christ or after Christ years. They used this Ab Urbe Condita. It means from Latin, from the foundation of the city, Rome, of course. It's probably just a mythological date, but that's how they counted their years. Yeah, as I said, I didn't play this game that much, but from what I've seen, it's mostly balanced and centered about playing as Rome. You could also play as others, factions that are actually suggested here at the bottom. But it's probably something you want to do later when you already know the game better, because they have different government forms, different diplomacy and religions thingies, and it's also of course gonna be more difficult to manage to survive as a minor power when you have the big Roman Empire that want to conquer it all. So we'll stick with the Romans and see if we manage to do a good job. The Pyrrhic War, 1st of January 474. We play Military Republic, independent. This is our first ruler, his skills, and we'll be already at war with Epirus and Magna Graecia. We have an ally, Massilia. That's modern Marseille. And this is the scenario description. Should I read this one? The Pyrrhic War initially started as a minor conflict between Rome and the city of Tarentum over naval treaty violation by one of the Roman consuls. At the time, Tarentum was still the foremost among the Greek colonies in southern Italy, collectively known as Magna Graecia. The city had previously aided the Greek ruler Pyrrhus of Epirus in his conflict with Corcyra and requested military aid from Epirus against Rome. How did the music ended? That's bad. The city has previously aided the Greek ruler Pyrrhus of Epirus in his conflict with Corcyra and requested military aid from Epirus against Rome. Pyrrhus honored his obligation, landing in southern Italy with his army. The war lasted for 5 years and proved that the Greek states were incapable of protecting Magna Graecia from Roman expansion. The Battle of Asculum in 279 BC, 475 AVC, is still remembered through the phrase Pyrrhic victory. Plutarch cites the king as having exclaimed, "If we are victorious in one more battle with the Romans, we shall be utterly ruined." Loading cities. Now I kindly ask to my viewers to tell me how's my voice compared to the music and the sound effects, because it's never easy to judge that from the preview. Like, is the game too loud? Am I too loud? I'm gonna wait for your feedback. While we do that, sound effects are a bit too loud, music is okay. Thank you. Like this sound effect, I guess you mean, huh? Yeah, I imagine that. Yeah, I don't know, in Paradox games they have these things of having super loud things in, like the U-Force battle sound, the CK2 crying newborn sound. They're just not averaged out. Okay, we'll keep it like this. So, as usual for a grand strategy title, the game starts paused. Nothing is happening until I don't click the pause and pause button. The date for January 1st will stay dead and nothing will happen until I unpause. So I have all the time, and I should take all the time to check out the starting situation. And we'll rightly do that. Political map mode. Well, we already seen this in the scenario screen. We are the big red guy in the middle. We control Etruria, Umbria, Picenum, Roma, Samnium, Campania, Apulia, Lucania. And this is our neighbor, Magna Graecia. The green blob here is Carthage. And sooner or later, for sure, we'll have to take care of them. All the gray areas looks empty, but they are actually occupied by barbarians that would pop up if we move there with our legions. Here we have some small, not really French, what's the right word, Gauls tribes. Some German tribes here, Germania Magna. The other big player is the Seleucid Empire. They are a despotic monarchy. And here we have Egypt. Egypt, despotic monarchy as well. So I'm checking now my diplomatic relations. When you click on the diplomatic relations map mode, the game centers the map mode on you. Light green, that's us. Music is a little too loud. Cool. It shows us that we are at war with this red-green striped area, Magna Grecia, as they told us in the scenario description. And the dark green here is at war with us as well, with a relation of -200. Same for Magna Grecia. And we have Massilia relation, they pay us tribute. We appreciate that. Maybe they're just scared, but nonetheless. And so yeah, if you click on any other country, then the map mode is centered around them. If you click on our enemy, of course we are red for him, and his ally is this nice light indigo. And well, yeah, the barbarians like each other. Carthage has no wars, no allies as well, but he is getting tributes from Numidia. Egypt is at war with the Seleucid Empire. They want to conquer this stuff here. That's what the stripes mean, I guess. And what else? Another war going on here between Thracia and Macedonia. We'll see. Let's take care of the alerts here. These red banners pop up from time to time, telling us it's some important matter we are supposed to handle as soon as possible. And yeah, let's start from here, and then when we encounter something that needs some more explanation, we'll just do that. So we should offer sacrifice. We should sacrifice to the gods in order to raise our stability. If I click here, I open the corresponding tab. This one here, the religion one. And it's telling me to sacrifice to the gods, to click on this little piggy with a dagger. Sacrificing to the gods will appease the people and increase the stability of our realm. The proper ritual will cost 40 gold. Do we have 40 gold? Gold 49. The positive monthly balance of 1.93. Gold is the amount of money in the nation's coffers. Money can be used for a variety of things, most importantly building and maintaining armies. Money is also used for projects to improve provinces. Having negative money is bad news and might cause bad things to happen. That's quite true. Okay, I spent those 40 and my stability from 0 became +1. My consul, our government situation has improved, causing our realm stability to increase. From the very highest to the very lowest, people feel our nation enjoys yet more divine favor than before. The stability indicator is like an abstraction of how is the internal situation of your country, realm, empire, whatever. Like saying how rebels how rebels have a chance to rise, or other internal struggles, like barbarians, if they'll stay under control. Yeah, stability describes how the people at large see the strength of the government. Stability has a limited effect in general gameplay. Revolts are more likely at low stability. Oh, and yeah, you cannot declare war if you have -3 stability. You cannot declare war if you have -3 stability, and it's also true that you cannot introduce new laws if your stability is negative. Yeah, this is the government window. We have a nice graphical representation of the Senate that we will explain later. And here you have some laws, and you can read, like, at the bottom of the tooltip, they often have stability of at least 1, stability of at least 1. So we'll be back here in a moment, because the second alert we want to take care of is we should invoke an omen. Oh, thank you, we tried to go up, really appreciate it. We will consider the webcam in the future, not really sure. It will be always on, maybe just for some kind of streams. But for now, it will do like this. I just introduced the chat today. I hope it's working fine. Sadly the Twitch delay is kinda long. Is it around like 30 seconds, I guess, something like that? Maybe there is some small tweak I can try to make it less, but can't really promise anything. Oh, you have a spare cam? Awesome. We should invoke an omen. That's the other alert. Oh, but what about Wave 76? Is he joining the stream tonight? Or Yanni and Chila? They should support us. Let's take care of the next red banner here. We should invoke an omen. The lack of an omen will strengthen the populist faction. So we want to learn what an omen is, and we want to know what's the populist faction. Omens are again in the religion tab. It's a list of bonuses that your country can get if the omen is successful. You can invoke this omen once a year. You can choose whichever you want from here, and you'll get the corresponding bonus. Trade income for the guidance of Mercury, national revolt risk -3 for the call of Saturn, favor of Fortuna +10 discipline. Discipline is one of the most important stats for armies, so we probably want to go for this one, as we are already in the middle of a war. Yeah, if you remember, we are in this smallish war. We want to conquer these two provinces. Problem is that if you fail the invocation, you'll get a penalty, a corresponding penalty. So a -10% discipline would be kind of harsh. And we have only a 39.3% of success. It's certainly not a chance a poker player would take. Where does this 39% comes from? We have a base value of 30%. We have this Gaius Sempronius Blasius Pontifex Maximus +3.9. Roman +5.4. I don't know if it's too early to delve into this stuff, because we also have to talk about the populists. So for now we'll just take care of the chance. We have 39. We want it to be higher. We just raised our stability, and that allows us to introduce a new law. And that's exactly what we are going to do. The Lex Aelia et Fufia. These laws extended the right obnunciatio, reporting unfavorably concerning the omens observed at the legislative assemblies, thus forcing an end to public business until the next lawful day to all magistrates instead of only members of the College of Augurs. Augures. And so, yeah, they're extending some religious duties to some civic magistrates as well. The conditions to be able to issue this law are: is a member of the religious faction, the ruler. Well, our ruler is actually of the mercantile faction, second last line in the tooltip, and yellow icon with coins here. So yeah, it's just, I think it's just a small bug in the text. It should just say it's not a member of the religious faction, meaning any ruler was not religious, because this law is doing something, taking power away from religious people, from the priest class and so on. So we are fulfilling the conditions at the moment, and issuing the law will lose one stability, but we are at +1, we'll go back to 0, minimum is -3, so it's okay. Most of the events, well, not all of them, that you activate like this from menus just occur immediately. You don't need to unpause. So our Chancellor reports Lex Elia et Fufia. We have passed the Lex Elia et Fufia. This law has extended the right of... well, we already read that. And we have a stability drop. Some superstitious fools have suggested our country is losing divine favor. Okay. But now, as you can see, our Omen chance is 49. You only want to do this once a year, so don't really have to go through all that. We are trying the discipline +9. This is the morale. And where's the discipline? Okay. Yeah, we'll try the blessing of Mars. Yeah, it's better. Gonna have more effect. Our magistrate reports the gods are smiling on us. Consul, our high priest was invoked by the blessing of Mars and succeeded. Morale of armies plus 0.45, same for navies. And I think it's already visible, yeah, because when we opened it a minute ago, the bar was full green. Now it has these 45 that we'll need to catch up. Blessing of Mars, you can read it there. And same for our navy. This is the outliner. It's a small menu that can help you moving around when you will be a sprawling empire with 20 legions on your borders and 10 navies controlling the Mediterranean. You'll use that a lot. You can also rename your legions here and give a leader. We'll see that later. That was to take care of the second alert, to invoke an omen. Let's go on with the next one. You have a free idea slot. Recent advances in civics have allowed your country to embrace a new idea. So ideas are like permanent modifiers that your country can get from this basically list. The grayed out ones require more modern technology that we don't have, like, I don't know, national prestige, tribute income plus 10%, requires construction technology at least 5, and the last one 25 Not really sure we'll even get there. Evangelical faith. Not sure I want to get that. Philosophical advances. Yeah, they are divided up in categories. You have the military ideas, economic ideas, civic ideas, religious ideas. Depending from your government type, we are a military republic now, you are granted a corresponding number of slots. Well, there are always 3 slots. What changes is the categories. A military republic will grant you 2 military slots and 1 civic slot. We are choosing them now, and you have to be careful to don't choose an idea from a wrong category, because in that case you won't get any effect from that idea and you can just change it on a whim. You have to wait for a new ruler to do that. So we want 2 military ideas. We just have 2 of them, so we'll get them. Horse lords, cavalry discipline plus 10%, and professional soldiers, heavy infantry plus 10. And there is also, of course, a very nice description. Civic ideas, we can choose between civic duty, defensive plus 50%. By making it each citizen's duty to defend the state, it means that men inducted into the army are more effective in defense. Or citizenship, freeman to citizen plus 7%. By defining citizenship in an open way, you encourage the conversion of freedmen to citizens. We are again in the middle of a conflict. We'll take the civic duty. Also goes explaining what that freeman citizen thing means. It's too early now. We'll see that later. Okay. The alert left, and the provinces have unused trade routes. The following provinces can support more trade routes. Well, all of them, because if we put the map in trade map mode, what you see is a nice icon of what kind of trade good that province is producing, like horses, grain, and wine, fish, salt, stone, iron, what else? Wood. This is cloth. Oh, we have game up here in Scotland, or Pictia, and amber. I think we've seen them all. Papyrus, research point plus 25%. Oh wait, we are the Persian elephants here. And if I say Persian, someone of our viewers should remember something, because we just had a very nice campaign, co-op-ish campaign, started in CK2, then we converted the game in EU4. I played it as Egypt or whoever was in place there, and he played as Persia. So, iron, stones, yeah, those are the trade goods available. Every trade good will grant a bonus to the province that's producing it, but also to a province who's receiving it by trade. Like, for example, I want to trade iron to Rome, because iron grants that province possibility to build heavy infantry units. Iron is a vital metal from which supplies the basis of all military equipment comes from. Without a ready supply of iron, it is impossible to raise heavy infantry regiments. So at the moment we could build heavy infantry only here. We want to be able to build it in Rome as well. So what we do is clicking on the available trade route here. We have these two arrows, and we just select Rome. We are now trading iron for wine from Etruria to Roma. Rome will earn 0.05 monthly. In addition, Roma gains allows heavy infantry, and Etruria gains local revolt risk -1. Revolt risk -1 is the special power of wine. And Etruria is producing just 1 unit of iron, so it can just trade 1. But Rome produces 3 units of wine, so it has 3 possible slots to give it away, and it's always worth trading. You can do both internal trade, like we just did now, but you can also trade with other countries. Now the game is still paused just before the beginning, so all the trade goods are basically available, save the ones controlled by barbarians that are not very interested in trading, or they don't have the infrastructure for it or whatever. So if you set up an internal trade route, you are sure it will work out because you're setting it, and that's it. But it won't give you much gold in terms of income. You see 0.05 Etruria Roma, that's the monthly income we'll get from that route, from the trade generated. But if we would manage to, I don't know, trade our Roman wine with these elephants here, we would get not only the elephants and they would get the wine, we would also get a lot more gold from the trade route, because the farthest the two trade provinces are, the more gold is generated. So let's say we want to sell this salt to this guy here for their horses. Not really sure. I don't think they will accept. They will probably get some better deal. There is too much opposition in the Senate. Oh, they don't like the guy, I guess. Yeah, there are like 40 senators opposing. See that later. So maybe no. Can't we trade with strangers, foreigners? This wood from Macedonia. Wood is very important because it allows you to build triremes and archers. Oh, speaking of which, yeah, we'll try to give grain to this guy here from Apulia. Okay, now we sent the we have a diplomat en route. He will arrive on February 1st, 474. The ruler will lose some popularity by taking this action. Lose popularity? Create trade route. Yeah, because it's yellow here. It was red for the other guy here. Yeah, it means the Senate is not really approving, because they don't like that we are trading with them, maybe because they're considered enemies or too different or whatever. So to keep it simple, we want stone to Rome, because stone grants you a 100% defensive, and Umbria is next to the border, so at risk of rebellions, so we'll send some wine to them. The third wine from Rome, we'll try to get some papyrus from Egypt. And Lucania will exchange his wood with Campania, so Campania will be allowed to build triremes as well, granting us 2 ports. Lucania. No, wait. Yeah, this is Campania. We want to trade with Lucania. We're now trying fish for wood. And what's left? This we sent the guy to Egypt. Horses. More iron. Well, also iron is always very good. Let's see. Spicenum, Apulia, Samnium. Yeah, the alert won't go away until the diplomats that we sent around will come back. That will take 1 month. So this alert will stay there for a while. No big deal. We just have to be sure that all the traders are assigned in the long run. Next alert, the country is at war. Well, not much we can do about it, unless winning, say, war. We can call in allies. We can ask the following states to support us. Massilia. Clicking here opens the diplomacy screen. Oh, let's go to the diplomatic method as well. Yeah. So they are independent. They are oligarchic republic, allied with Rome, gives tribute to Rome. And we could a call to arms. Call on your partner to aid you in this conflict. The ruler will lose some popularity by taking his action. So we are not really sure we need their help, because it's just these 2 provinces. Also because the smaller allies have the very bad habit of messing up while moving their troops around and being conquered by the enemy, giving them valuable war score, and really it's easier. I mean, if they would be bigger, they could take care of themselves, but just 2 provinces like these, isolate, they are too far. If we need to go save them, we don't want them. We'll be fine. Also cause they're telling us that a call to arms would make us lose popularity, because not the majority of the Senate is not agreeing on this action. Free government position. Okay, now we can start talking about the Senate and the internal politics. Free government position. We have unfilled government position. Okay, we are back into the Senate screen. We don't care about the laws now, just this area here. The alert is telling us that these 2 slots are empty, but Let's see. Let's have an overview. This is the consul. This is the current ruler. Like in the nation overview. Consul Lucius Aemilius Barbula. Martial 6, Charisma 4, Finance 6, Age 51, Wealth 500, Traits crafty, Ambition become legate, Loyalty, Popularity. It's a lot of stuff. And the important for now is that is from the mercantile faction. All adult characters in a republic lean towards one political faction or other. Their choice of faction influences their ambition, the events that can happen to them, and the bonus they give to the country should they become ruler. Bonus? Yeah, a mercantile faction consul has these effects: trade income plus 20%, diplomacy success plus 25%. Well, that's not bad at all. Where can we read that? Mercantile faction ruler plus 20% trade. Is part of the mercantile faction, and there are 5 factions in the Roman Senate. The Senate is made up of 99 senators plus the consul. We have the totals here. We have 20 military faction senators, 20 senators belonging to the mercantile factions, 20 to the religious, 20 to the civic, 19 to the populist faction, and plus the consul we get 100. And here they are actually represented one by one to have a at one glance the overview of the balance of powers. The military faction has a political attraction of 20%. The mercantile faction has 5% political attraction. Political attractions is how much the future is leaning in that direction in the Senate. Like every month in game, some senators will switch their faction, and they will probably go with the one with most political attraction. The populist one has 65% political attraction. It tells us it's 30% from unused trade routes and 15% no omen invoked. But that's because we haven't unpaused the game yet, because we took care of the omen and most of the trade routes already. The civic factions cares more about constructed building, lack of slaves. The religious factions, we have a recent sacrifice 10%. Mercantile faction, we just get the 5% from the mercantile faction leader, who is this guy here. Yeah, this face here was the actual leader of that faction, that will use his stats, mostly his charisma when it's Senate related stuff, to help his faction getting more powerful. But going back to what we need to do in the short term, we want to fill up these 2 positions, okay? The 2 censors positions. The censor, where can I read who was the censor? Well, the censor will get a +2 Senate influence for every point of charisma. Will improve the internal situation with this finesse, stability cost modifier, population growth. And the last thing, personally, monthly wealth, monthly prominence is just the advantages will get for him. So we want to put here people who can do their job, meaning they have a good finesse, but also that they have decent charisma and that they are of the right faction, meaning we don't want to put populists in the important positions, because populists are always bad. A populist faction consul has these effects: national revolt risk +1, stability cost modifier 25%. That can get messy in the long run. So we want to always keep the populist faction under control. We don't want them to take too much power, meaning we don't want them to have too much political attraction. So we should also always try to keep the Senate balanced between all the faction and keep the populists in check. The civic faction has a 37%, 16.5. Well, for sure the mercantile is very weak, and the religious faction is very weak as well. So it would be a good idea to put two men of those factions in charge to balance out things a little. Because yeah, the thing is that every faction has different interests, and most probably the next ruler will be from the most important faction. Because yeah, electing a populist council doesn't happen very often, but you can see that the civic faction is the one with the highest political attraction besides them, 37%. And in fact the next possible consul is the guy here. The next possible consul is the Gaius Fabius Licinus. He's the leader of the civic faction. He's army quaestor, magistrate in charge of army finances. Oh, wait a moment. We have a request from our viewers. Thank you for the follow, much appreciated. So we wish you an entertaining night, whatever game you're going to play with your Monster Rig, and maybe we'll see you tomorrow again. To turn the video off, you have to click on the chat, and you pop out the chat, and then you can close the video window. On the very bottom you have the small gear, the chat settings. If you click on the small gear, you click on pop out, and then you get the chat in a smaller window, and you can close the video one. Thank you, good night. We were talking about the civic faction, the one with the most political attraction at the moment. And in fact, the next console will be the guy. The next console will happen when the current one will have ended his service. Military Republic. Rulers reign for 2 years. Rulers can be re-elected after 10 years. The guy has been elected on 1st of May 473 last year, so he will reign until 1st of May 75. I think that's actually the historical date, or around that, when the consuls went to power. And yeah, keep in mind that this is a very nice game. It makes an awesome job putting you in the right setting mood, the right atmosphere, but a lot of things are abstracted and simplified for the sake of not maybe gameplay or game design, but yeah, to avoid too much confusion. Because in reality there were 2 consuls at a time at Rome, and they were governing at the same time for 2 years, and they had the right to block any decision from the other side. Well, in theory, but yeah, it was 2 of them. But the game just represent 1 consul in charge every 2 years. Just imagine it as the most influential one, or as an average of the 2s. So next year, May 75, this guy, if he's still alive, or if the runner-ups, Friendly Senator 25, 19, 19, will go in charge. So we want to balance things a little and put a guy from the mercantile faction as a censor to help them get some more political attraction, and that means putting a guy with a lot of charisma there. Oh, maybe the leader? Yeah, also because he's the only guy. Yeah, this screen, character screen, shows you all the characters in Rome, in your country, meaning all the important people you can assign government positions to. You can give them an army to lead, or a place as a governor, stuff like that. And you can order them by their stats, like you have the martial, charisma, finesse, popularity, loyalty, corruptness, prominence, and objective. Every character in the game has an objective, and if they don't manage to fulfill it, they will get angry. On the opposite side, they're happy if you help them fulfilling it. So here we could filter all the unemployed characters from the mercantile faction, and that's it, it's only him. If you click on the small question mark here, you can see his stats. Gaius Fabricius Lucinus. Family, Fabrici, it's the second name there. Family prestige, 110. Characters from prestigious families are more likely to become rulers. In republics they have more senators on their side, and in monarchies they are next in line after members of a ruling family. Age 40. Martial 7, charisma 6, finance 3. Yeah, there is always a base of 2 and compared to the stars here. So if you see 1 star, it actually translates to a 3 for the stats. Faction, mercantile, popularity. Popularity is a measure of how the people see the character. Well, prominence represents the fame of the character. Loyalty, the measure of a character's loyalty to the state. Corruptness, it's quite self-explaining. Personal wealth, it has nothing to do with the state's treasury, it's just his personal wealth. And I think you could imprison him and get some free gold out of it or something. Religion, location, yeah. And is suspicious. Yeah, most of characters have traits that alter their stats and also give some personality. Who's this guy? Born, became former consul. Oh, he's the former consul. And then he became leader of the mercantile faction. It means that for 10 years it cannot be re-elected. So even if he gets a little too prominent or popular, it won't be too much of a it won't be the next consul right away. Okay. The other censor, we were talking about the religious faction, because they have just 16%. Unemployed, religious, there are no religious unemployed characters? Then we'll go for military. They have 20%. I really wanted the religious. Well, the civic is already the strongest one. I guess we'll go for this guy here. Former consul as well. Rush. Well, it's monthly wealth. Became Navy Questor. No one wants to become censor? No one wants to become censor. Well, you'll have to do, dear Publius Decius Mus. Okay. Our government positions are fulfilled. And now we can... Yeah, that's what I wanted to read. The censor description. In the Roman Republic, the 2 censors were in charge of public morality, state finances, and perhaps most importantly, deciding who qualified for senatorial and equestrian rank. The office of censor was so prestigious that it was typically awarded to former consuls. Oh, then we did it. Per point of charisma, Senate influence. Well, yeah, we already read that. So, while we are here, we can have a look at all the various government positions. So you have the consul, the censors, the faction leaders. It's not well. It's an important position because it contributes to the political attraction of that faction, but it's not like you can assign people to that. The guys are automatically assigned by the game depending on their factions and stuff. And the other positions are these 5 guys here that are very in a simplified way, they are assigned to technology. Well, they're actually assigned to a part of the Roman society, of the society of your country, that will help technology going faster. Like, well, it's easier if I just read the stuff here. Army Questor, magistrate in charge of army finances. Per point of charisma, +1 Senate influence to his own faction. This guy is from the civic. And well, he just has 4 charisma. and you can actually see this. So the guy has 4 charisma, and he is the army quester. Let's see if it's true. Yeah, Gaius Fabius Licinus, 6 charisma, army quester, 6, and it's that 6% there. Oh, okay, Senate influence +1. Army quester +1. Okay, so it's 4 for charisma, +1 for leader, +1 for army quester. Now numbers are getting straight. Then you have the navy quester, magistrate in charge of navy finances, per point of charisma. Senate influence +1, per point of marshal, blockade efficiency, naval organization. So for every position, you both have the charisma part, you have the finesse part, and you have the martial part, maybe. Well, not for the Edile. Okay, army quester gets bonuses for marshals as well. Navy quester 2. The Edile just for charisma, and it doubles up for Senate influence and build cost and build time. Praetor, magistrate in charge of civics, charisma, research point, civilization spread, Senate influence. And the Pontifex Maximus, chief religious figure in the state, per point of charisma, Omen success chance, Omen failure penalty, Senate influence. But you also have to take in account that they will contribute with their finesse score to how fast technology in that field of society is developed. This guy has 9 finesse, and you see we are currently researching Land Technology 1 and expect to be finished in February 485. And the yeah, we have a plus 90% bonus, almost doubled up, from the guy here, Gaius Fabius Licinus, because he has 9 finesse. So these guys are, it's almost impossible to find someone who has high martial, high charisma for his own faction, high finesse for the technology. So it's a balancing thing. Sometimes you'll find yourself with no real choice, and you'll just need to put there someone with a lot of charisma to balance things out in the Senate for his faction. Sometimes you put there a guy who's actually good for the job and then has a very high finesse. Like at the moment, the army quester has just 3 marshal, so he's making a horrible job for land organization and siege time, but he has a very high finesse and kind of low charisma, so he's not making that much as in the political balance of power, but he's helping a lot with technology, with his 90%. He's high finesse as well. He is a very good character. Gnaeus Cornelius Blasio, Edile. Then this guy, okay, and Pontifex Maximus. Should he have charisma? Yeah, he should have higher charisma. This is not a good Pontifex Maximus. What else? Before I'm pausing the game. Before I'm pausing the game, we want to have a break. And so we'll wrap it up here. Save the game. And go on from next time. So thanks a lot for watching stream, and see you next time. If you have any question or any observation about any technical issue you notice about the stream, please let me know in the YouTube comments or directly on Twitch. Thanks a lot and see you next time.